Everybody to today's edition of the Real Estate Show as we do our pre-show warm-up right here. We got a very special guest today, and it was if he sent it to the same email where he sent the picture would be good, would be great. Okay, I think I just got it. All right. So we've got a special guest today. We started off the week. Can't believe it's the middle of the week already. Here we are already getting ready for our mid-week edition of the Real Estate Show. And real estate news today. And here we go with the pre-intro. Hey, Brian, how are you? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. That's funny. I was looking, like a few seconds in a shift. There's a handful of coronavirus. So we're getting ready. Music's coming in. We're getting ready to come on. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition here of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about real estate. We are here live Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. That's Eastern Time. We are here live talking to you on 1 a.m. station here in South Florida, 1470, where this all began 20 years ago, 21 years ago, as a matter of fact. And also over the years added 3 more FM stations, not to mention the streaming live that we do both on iHeartRadio, on our website at automaticlandlord.com. It's probably one of the favorite places that people go is automaticlandlord.com. Go to the top of the page where you can just click on the Real Estate Show, and you can either listen live or listen to any of our archived editions going back a number of years. We also stream it live on a number of the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app. So lots and lots of different ways for you to catch us, not to mention visually also on our Facebook Live transmission. So we broadcast this live on Facebook, also on YouTube Live. So those of you who want to join us visually as well as the sound of the real estate that we talk about, well, there's no lack of avenues for you to find us here. So we hope that you are one of our regular listeners that listen to us either live or after the retransmission. Each day of the week, we theme what we're talking about from our Mondays on a Mission, where we set out the agenda. This week, we started talking a little bit about our Houston market and what we're doing there. As far as getting geared up for our live auction trip, the market that we're doing there, working on a rehab over there right now, and also how we have set up our coaching group where we talk about building wealth beyond Wall Street. That's right, building wealth right here on your street. Then Tuesdays are tools, tips, and techniques. We talk about the latest scoops and the report going that we had yesterday from the foreclosure man. And as we prepare for what's inevitably going to come, a spike in the number of foreclosures and other distressed properties, we want you to be in a position, to help out those that need the help them out, and of course take advantage of what is an opportunity, a window of opportunity in the real estate market. Well, that brings us today to our Wednesday show, midweek report. And today I'm also joined with a very special guest, the leader of the Gary Lanham Group for Coldwell Banker, one of South Florida's top brokers here, a specialty real estate agent here on the east side of town in South Florida. And I'm going to bring him on. We're going to talk a little bit about how he got into this business, how he got into the business here in South Florida. We'll find out a little bit about his background, where he came from, and what is the secret to the success of his group as a gentleman, as a professional, and really as an expert in the real estate market. One who, as we like to kid around between us, and a lot of people know him for being someone who really drills down with the numbers. Anyway, without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome my guest. Gary, can you hear me? Are you on the line now? I can hear you loud and clear. I'm just going to make a small adjustment over here so that our Facebook listeners can hear you as well. But first of all, and before anything, welcome, my good friend. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's nice to be here. I've watched you with this show. I've watched you grow it over the last 6 or 7 years that I've known you, and I'm really impressed with what you continue to do and how you continue to help investors earn.
Yes, my philosophy has always been a more informed and better educated consumer is a better consumer, period. And so that's what this show aims to do, is to bring as much information and knowledge to and about the marketplace, and then help point people in the right direction, which quite frankly, I believe it isn't too far from your philosophy either.
We're doing the same thing. Sometimes when people think about real estate, they kind of raise an eyebrow. They say, well, another realtor, that's driven by the money, the profit motive, as opposed to the service that we provide to homeowners as well as investors. And yeah, so I kind of follow your model as far as trying to do business with integrity, providing service above profit. Of course, there is money exchanged at the end, but that's all because of the hard work that's gone into the process. But yes, it's really great to be here tonight. I look forward to talking to you about some real estate.
Yeah, and before we jump into some of the other things, I also want to mention that Gary also has a podcast, and I'll tell you, it is a slick, really nicely well put together, very professional production, and I had the privilege of being a guest on his show. So here we are kind of turning the tables. This time it's my turn to do the questions.
I appreciate the quid pro quo. Thank you so much.
See, quid pro quo is not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
Never a bad thing.
Anyway, so I already was explaining to our listeners, obviously you are an experienced agent, and an agent that not only did a wonderful job servicing your own clients, but now you have built and developed a team around you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So, real estate has always been, I think in the past or historically, Eric, that real estate has been seen as an individual sport. You're a track runner or you're a swimmer. But with technology and, kind of technology bounding for us rather rapidly, and with so many things to do in real estate and the technology that allows us to provide better service, we also have to now coordinate selling and buying properties in a whole different kind of environment, which is the COVID environment. So my goal has been to always help my agents perform better real estate. I had the privilege of being purchased by Coldwell Banker about 6 years ago. I was running a little boutique agency in Oakland Park, where we helped develop the concept of the Culinary Arts District, and I was actually living in an adjacent neighborhood called the Quills, so it was a natural fit. And Coldwell Banker came to us because we were doing great numbers, and we were doing it with a little twist. And the twist that we were using was that we were using video. Back in those days, you may recall Google had something like a movie maker, like a Microsoft product called Movie Maker.
All right.
And take still slides, and you could, like a Sam Brown, or pan the slide. You could drop music in, you could drop captioning in, and it actually looked like there was some kind of movement.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. In fact, so you actually became known as the video realtors a little bit, almost a little bit ahead of time.
Yeah, so that was probably in about 2012. So yeah, we were doing video way ahead of time. You know, the iPhone really hadn't evolved to the state that it's in right now. But it kind of propelled us and got us some attention in the marketplace, so that people wanted to do business with us. That, you know, we kind of operate our business like if you're familiar with the old B&I statement. We like to do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Right.
And to know people and like them and trust them is to see them in person, see them how they perform, and, you know, whether that's in these days it would be like a FaceTime call.
Yeah. And so, and what it was kind of neat is I've always kind of watched the evolution. I don't think you've sat still during any marketplace. And now that we're in a marketplace where the buzzword is the coronavirus, it's COVID-19, it's the pandemic. You guys have really taken a leadership role in that as well.
Well, we try to, as a part of raising the level of service to our customers, that certainly mandates to us that we keep them safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the coronavirus appeared, we were Coldwell Banker, and their leadership at Coldwell Banker, came up with some pretty terrific guidelines as far as, how to keep us safe as realtors. But just as importantly, and a deal anyway, the most important thing was the keeping the seller and the buyers safe. So they came up with some, at first it was rudimentary, and now we got proceduralized. We have checklists. We know how to perform to keep everybody safe. And that's just nice. That's the core of doing business today, making sure that you can do it using the video app that we talked about earlier, now taking it into the future. You and I spoke, for example, about a week ago, we talked about how the technology really has pulled the consumer as well as the realtor into the future.
And that's, really important. And I think that, that's just one of some of the things that we touched on so far that differentiates you and the Gary Lanham group from, every other realtor out there. I mean, the realtor profession has come a long way. And when I remember when I first got my license some 30 years ago, the running joke in Boca Raton was I got pulled over and the police officer asked me for my real estate license, because everybody had a real estate license and everybody did it in some form, part-time, referrals from neighbors and relatives. But today, as you can tell just from some of the technology that you use, the medical care that you have to have, the awareness, the marketing, this is no longer a part-timer's playground.
No, it's not. And I think that your analogy is good about the police officer pulling you over and asking for your real estate license. I have a similar kind of saying. It's like you could throw a dead cat on the block and get 3 realtors.
Now, slow down there, because we might have some cat lovers around here that might protest the inhumane use of a cat.
And I totally get it. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to cats.
No.
Is that we have a lot of them, Eric, and what's happened, as you've already talked about, is that with the blossoming of technology and the need to pay more and more attention to the details, we're seeing a lot of changes in the market. In Broward County, before COVID, there were 23,000 licensed realtors in Broward County.
Yeah, that's just in our county. There's a couple 100,000 in the state. So you can just imagine, you know, that, like I said, that it's so prevalent. Just because somebody has a real estate license, that only gives you the permission to do real estate. It does not qualify you literally to do anything. In fact, most of what they teach in real estate school has nothing to do with providing the service, selling, marketing, or treating customers other than what is required by law.
That's correct. So basically what they've done is they've gone to school and they passed the test. They got the state license.
Exactly. So Gary, we're going to take a quick break. We're coming up already at the middle of our program. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the irony that you started out with video way back ahead of time, just to be something different. But what an important role video has come to play in the COVID environment that we're in. And I got a whole bunch more. So for all of you out there listening, you're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. I'm here with my very special guest and good friend, Gary Lanham. And we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. But Brian, was the volume better as I brought it on? Hopefully that I made the adjustments that we're able to have you hear him better. If not, let me know, and I'm going to have to either reposition something and see if that's any better as well. So while I wait for that response there, John, I see John is in the house. Simone is in the house. So we got California, we got Boca Raton, we got Coconut Creek. There's Crystal Gabriel. How are you? She's saying hi to Eric and Erica. People still having fun with that one. Then we've got Brian, California. Mr. Bilsker, how are you? And what else we got there? Joe, how are you? So it looks like, just as a little update in between the show, because I won't have time because of my guest, but it looks like the latest stimulus update in a shift. Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants to change gears, completely switch it up. Good, thanks. Really switch it up, and instead of coming out with another massive package, and I think this is actually a very smart move, because I think inevitably if they came out with another big jump and just do big ones too spaced far apart, we're going to have a lot of people not making it from package to package. But he is talking now about coming out with a handful of aid bills instead of a single package. And especially as there's becoming a lot of dissension amongst what everybody wants, you know. Of course, you know, we want to hope and pray that they don't throw a lot of pork into this big stimulus bill, so that it really is a stimulus bill and it really is designed to bring the economy back, not simply to appease constituents and put a lot more fat into the budget. Remember, we're going to pay for all this. None of this is a free ride at all. So I think the idea of doing a multitude. The other thing that's also, you may or may not have followed, but in Europe they just passed a major, but it's a long-term package. It's a revolutionary, you know, in the European Union. So it's collaboration between Italy and Germany. So, you know, if all these countries can get it together, why can't we, within our country, get two parties together for the benefit of the people? So I hope from both sides that we get a consensus soon to help out the key people, particularly those unemployed, to help them to get employed. Obviously not as a disincentive for employment, but an incentive to be employed. Because no matter what, even if it's any of these incentives, none of these incentives will last for the long haul. But I guess today the key sort of tension was this whole issue about the payroll tax cut. So we're getting ready to come back. I'm going to turn this volume back up so we can hear our guest, and I'll be back with you guys on Facebook in just a second.
Questions about the broadcast, call toll free 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Now back to today's show.
And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show. And we focus on all aspects of real estate, from the properties to the financing. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our Thursday ATM edition of The Real Estate Show. That's ATM stands for About the Money. And we're going to have some really interesting perspective. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to make a little bit of a patriotic show. You know, the old saying on the flag when the United States was getting ready to separate itself from Great Britain, and they had signs that says "Don't tread on me." Well, don't tread water in this marketplace either. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how you can actually make advances in the real estate market, make advances in your mortgage, and build equity quicker while the market is going through its pandemic gyration. So you want to definitely tune in for tomorrow's show. Anyway, as I was talking to my friend and my guest, Gary Lanham, the head of the Gary Lanham Group for Coldwell Banker, they're a real estate group here on the east side of town, or I should say the east side of the state. Gary, what is your geographic area?
So we do business in the Tri-County area, of course, Palm Beach County, Dade County, and Broward County. The bulk of our business is in Broward County and on the northeast side of Broward County. So for us, geographically, in terms of city names, that would be Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, and Wilton Manors. Gotcha.
So while we were getting ready to take a break, you know, I was sort of thinking about the fact that when people were still largely in still photos, in fact, when I met you, you were already toting around with you a great photographer, and you were always very emphatic about getting the best quality photos for your clients' listings.
So you're right. I mean, it started off as like just simply trying to service your customer the best way, and that you're right. It was a static photographer. Bobby Smith would come in and do our still. Back then, they had the virtual tours, which was equivalent of a 360 tour in its primitive stage, and then from there, like video just kind of caught on.
And so now, fast forward here, we are in 2020. How important is video today?
Well, video is extremely important, and even before COVID started, you know, more and more agents were learning how to do video. Many of them fearful and worried about how they sound when they play them back, not wanting to embarrass themselves. But when I talk to my team and we talk about video, I kind of like to invoke the Gary Vaynerchuk method, right? Don't worry about how you sound. Don't worry about what you're going to say. Just say something, and say something with a little fun behind it so that your customer has the benefit of your knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, obviously there's a hunger for all of that. And so today, now with the whole concept of social distancing and in the middle of a pandemic, having the skill already to do very good quality videos, that has to have helped you out quite a bit.
Well, indeed it has. And, you know, video is the ultimate social distancing product, right? So the sellers don't want buyers in their houses because, you know, where has the buyer been? Is the buyer COVID positive? Is the buyer COVID negative? And in fact, to get a buyer into the house, you know, we have to worry about non-disclosures, hold harmless agreements, making sure that, you know, there are no lawsuits if something bad happened with regard to the COVID infection. So the sellers don't want you in your house. The buyers don't want to go in there. So kind of the ultimate meeting place then is how do we address buying, looking at a house, and looking at a sales process, and whether it be virtually or through the use of video.
And yesterday on my report, I was talking about how more and more people are buying houses sight unseen, thanks to the quality of good video, good descriptions, and a trusted realtor on the other side that they know that is relaying, you know, what the facts of the situation really are. Now, I'm going to switch gears on you really quick, Gary, because we're at a late point in our show. You have a special project that you have actually babied from literally the drawing board to now its constructed result.
So you must be talking about Urban Village, which is a new construction project, redevelopment project in a socioeconomically suppressed area of Oakland Park. Yes, it's been a wonderful opportunity to get involved with that project, Eric, and it's now coming to fruition. And it's quite a project for a first-time home buyer. It's quite a purchasing opportunity for an investor because it is east of 95. It is 6 minutes to the beach. It's 4 minutes to Wilton Manors. It's 3 minutes to Main Street Oakland Park, where the Culinary Arts District is. And its location just demands, the old real estate adage, location, 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 what means that it's going to be a value driver, not only to it in and of itself, but also to the neighborhood to act as an anchor.
So remember to my listeners that I have been talking the week before last, yesterday I mentioned again, hey, keep your eye out open. There's going to be some very interesting opportunities for buying new construction. And there's a whole slew of advantages to buying new construction. Not only the fact that it is new construction, it's brand new, it's covered under warranties, it's the latest in technology, both tell me a couple of the unique features of Urban Village.
Sure. So there are a couple that really stand out, especially with regards to the COVID situation. We never, of course, nobody could ever imagine a pandemic in our lifetime, right? Mm-hmm. But this project was constructed with multiple buildings, and each of the buildings has been constructed so there's no common hallway, there's no common elevator to use. You have separate entrances into your unit, and some of the units are true lived workplace spaces. So, for example, if you're a PTA, we've gotten a variance from the city of Oakland Park, and you can actually put your signage on your first floor as two-door entry to your unit.
So, Gary, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you a little bit short, but I want to give out Gary's phone number if you want to learn a little bit more, but we'll definitely have to have Gary back talking more about this project. But in order to reach the Gary Lanham Group and Gary Lanham himself, it's 954-695-6518. That's 954-695-6518. Or if you need to reach him, just call me and I'll definitely make that connection. Gary, thanks again for being our guest here on the Real Estate Show. Stay safe out there, my friend.
Eric, thank you so much for the opportunity. Enjoyed it.
Take care. And to all of you out there, drive safe and make it a great day. That went by fast. Very fast. So I'm going to go ahead and phase that out there so that doesn't interrupt us. What did you guys all think of Gary in that interview? He's a Class A real estate agent, and really has done a bang up job over in his area on the east side of town. So as I was also saying on the update that I was telling you about the stimulus package, because we're all watching that very closely. We're seeing a bit of a struggle between the president, who is really pushing hard for the payroll tax cut, which, if you think about it, is a very good idea, because it will, by lowering the cost of having an employee, it's an incentive for employers to go out there and hire more people. And we need employers to hire more people to get more unemployed people off unemployment. And all of that is an engine for the economy. You want to see the real estate market take off? Have lots of employed people. And that's really the name of the game there. When the economy has strong employment, remember, we had the lowest unemployment in 60 years right before COVID. And then we had this little punch to the gut from the COVID, which put nearly 40-some million people out of a job. And the faster we can get those people back to work, the faster this economy will get back on track, and the better it will be for the real estate markets. Anyway, I am going to wrap it up right there. Hey, Marcio, tudo bem? I see a couple of, we've got a nice crowd of Brazilians watching the real estate show. And hope that you guys will join us tomorrow for the About the Money edition of the real estate show, which is held every Thursday. We are wrapping it up here. So until tomorrow, everybody, have a great night. Bye-bye.